equipment inches and data centres. There are a number of interlinked functions which are involved in the delivery of this new equipment. We've since named the whole process Genesis. We asked Rex Parker about the importance of technology to NZI and why we're undertaking this project.
It is my view that in the future development of general insurance, technology will be the key factor upon which competition in our industry will be based. It is a critical means by which we will create value for our customers and will give us key business development opportunities. It is increasingly important for NZI Insurance that business services and operations become even more closely linked. The achievement of our business objectives is closely allied to the capacity of business services to support and respond in a manner that will enable us to satisfy our customers' needs. During the last 5 years, our business strategies have changed rapidly and dramatically. Consequently, the demands of our business have outgrown the capacity of policy to effectively support us. With our customer and market focus, the use of more supportive computing tools is now vital. We must take advantage of new technologies which will be flexible and responsive to business needs. The Genesis project will position us for the future. It is for these reasons that the Executive wholeheartedly supports this project.
We asked Mark Webb what the objectives of the Genesis project are and who will be involved in the delivery of the new system.
We will implement the technical and support infrastructure for the development of the converted policy applications with delivery to all user sites during the week commencing 3rd of January 1995. And we will achieve this within the allocated budget. All business services staff will be involved in the delivery of the system. This is going to be a real team effort.
The project covers a number of major components. The modernisation of our network, conversion of the policy software to the IBM Unix system, rollout of new branch computing equipment and software, support. The new system will be delivered in the week of the 3rd of January 1995. This video is designed to introduce the Genesis project to you, outline what is involved, and request queries from you. A specialist team has been formed to cover all areas concerned with the successful delivery of this system. We'll now walk you through the functions involved in the Genesis project. As project manager, Masood Razul Zadagan is involved in putting together project plans, monitoring the team's progress and keeping team members and business services management informed. We asked Masood about the benefits NZI will experience from the new system.
The new system will provide the basis for us, business services, to respond to business needs of NZI in a timely manner. This new equipment will improve the development response time through the easier change control management, and also will improve communication through electronic mail. We are unifying the staff competencies through the standard look and feel between the applications.
We asked Mark about the limitations business services experienced in responding to the needs of the business.
Perhaps the best way to describe the limitations is to use an analogy to a new vehicle today compared to one of 1980. If we are to buy a 1980 Holden Commodore, it's much different to a 1994 version, and this is much the same with our current systems. Presently, our maintenance costs are very high. Our performance capability is restricted by the current technology, and the procedures and tools we use for maintaining and developing the software are a constraining factor. Again, if you take a 1980 car to a repair centre, it's much different to taking a 1994 model with the sophisticated computer diagnosis equipment they now have. We have been in reactive rather than proactive mode. New approaches that we'll be able to incorporate in our new technology will include image, optical character readers, and ultimately multimedia. If I take you back to the analogy with the motor vehicle, you can't add an airbag to a 1980 Commodore.
Business Services recognises that we cannot change our hardware and software without providing considerable support in the form of training and documentation to our customers. Catherine Grenfell is developing our training strategy. In the program, we'll need to cover such things as how to access the branch LAN, how to use a mouse, and how to access and use applications. We'll concentrate on the differences between the old and new systems. Our branches are spread Australia-wide, so we've decided to implement this through the use of self-paced workbooks. Here's Catherine.
Each staff member will receive a workbook that will contain clear, easy-to-understand instructions on how to use the new equipment. Each workbook will also contain summaries and handy hints.
In addition to this, key staff members in each branch will receive additional training that will show them how to manage the support and maintenance function of the new system. Closely aligned with training is the documentation function. Lee Brown is responsible for providing all necessary documentation which directly supports business services customers. He's been working closely with Catherine, so there'll be consistency in the material you receive. We talked to Lee about his objectives for documentation.
Well, effective documentation is based on 7 quality objectives. The first being that the documentation be easily read, that the information retrieved from the documentation is accurate, and that questions to supervisors are reduced, that our training programs are supported and integrated with our documentation, that the documentation is also easily maintained and easily distributed, and that our costs to our support desk are reduced. And finally, our work satisfaction is enhanced for anyone who uses and accesses the documentation.
Usability is a new term to NZI. We asked David Cannon what it was all about and how it'd help our customers.
Usability is a simple process which will facilitate the evaluation of our materials for training, documentation and support in relation to the Genesis project. In short, what we'll deliver is a simple measure of quality assurance to the Genesis process. Our primary objective in conducting usability is to maximise productivity during the rollout process and to minimise any disruptions caused by errors and omissions or any confusion over the Genesis materials.
With the amount of computer equipment to be changed at NZI, a team of 3 was formed to deal with the various aspects. Richard Pugh is concerned with the cabling and the equipment which will reside at our sites. Patrick Stevens is looking after the software which will run on this equipment. Mark Champion is responsible for the new IBM host environment. That's the equipment which will be located at our Rhodes data centre. Here's Richard.
Our goal is to install with minimum impact to the branch the hardware and software required to position them to use the new system in early January.
We also asked Richard what branches could expect to happen at installation.
We have this concept of shrink-wrap installations. This means that all components for a branch will be assembled at a single location and tested for a period of 24 hours. This helps us to minimise problems during installation. We then repack all the components on a pallet, shrink-wrap it in plastic and send it to the branch.
A team of installation people will meet the pallet and install the components. When the installation is complete, the branch will be able to continue to use the existing network, but be positioned to use the new system in early January. The rollout of equipment will be a joint effort between business services and branches. We'll notify you of how you can help us as rollout approaches. With all the new PCs going into branches, Patrick explained what would be happening with our existing software.
The existing software will stay on the new PCs until it's replaced by new software in January 1995.
We'll be replacing our current 6 production machines located at our Homebush and Rhodes data centres with 8 IBM machines. The technology now allows us to present these machines as one unified system. Here's Mark Champion.
The benefits of the new host computer system are the reduction in databases from 6 production machines to 1 database. The way we're organising the computers means that if one goes down and is unavailable, we have other computers that can come in and take its place at short notice. This also allows for growth in that we can buy other computers to add in as the workload increases. And the fact that all these computers adhere to international standards, which means it's quite easy to buy extra hardware and software for them.
The new system differs in a number of ways from our existing concurrent machines. The new machines will have the capacity to hold considerably more information. Physically, it will take considerably less space than our current machinery. Gary Condor and Paul Cavanagh head up the porting team. Porting is the process of converting our existing system over to the new IBM hardware and software with minimal change from the customer's perspective. We have involved 3 business partners to help us widen our expertise. Gary explained to us what each partner adds to the process.
Rose Systems are an Australian organisation who specialise in the conversion of computer applications from one environment to another. We were influenced in our decision to choose Rowe because of their past history having performed policy conversions at both the MMI and AMP organisations. Therefore, Rowe's tasks really are the conversion of the programs and the data and the performance of a significant amount of testing. The second partner is IBM, and they'll be supplying not only the computer hardware and system software, but additional services as well, for example, technical advice and problem resolution. Our third partner is Systech, who is a consultancy firm headed up by David Albert, whom some of you may recall is one of the original designers of the policy system. His organisation will be providing us with certain services such as auditing and review of the work done, some technical advice, and also some ancillary development activity.
The conversion of policy software has been in operation since January. Paul Cavanagh now explains to us what the team has achieved so far.
One of the earliest things that we had to do was decide what actually needed to be ported, and this was deemed to be policy including work cover, CTP, the market reporting system, the KISS quotation register, and Peru. What we did then was provide Rowe with a base copy of all the programs that we have in the production systems, and we instituted a logging procedure here to keep track of all those programs that may have been changed since the February quarantine, right up until the development freeze that came into force on the 1st of July. We then had to functionally test the system from the ground up, and by that I mean we tested clients, agents, the rest of the underwriting system, cash, cheques, and so forth. We also had to test the integrity of the Rowe conversion facility, so we set about picking a few areas, and this was the smart system that includes passwords, sanctions and tables, and we also included the batch reporting facility that provides the branches with all their end-of-month claims reports. And I'm pleased to say that so far we've completed about 70% of all that testing.
The purpose of the 008 Help Desk in the Genesis project is to manage the timely resolution of system problems as reported by our customers. Bob Gibson tells us about the 3 major issues facing system support.
Firstly, by January next year, the majority of our customers will be using sophisticated new PCs and software. These will create new demands on our system support, and we must be prepared for it. Secondly, the new equipment and software to be located at roads may well experience teething problems in the early stages. And thirdly, we currently use a problem management system to assist us in the resolution of our customers' problems. This system, which has served us well over 5 years, unfortunately does not run on IBM equipment, and we have to replace it. However, we will take this opportunity to redesign and improve the functions of the system.
The changes we'll be implementing in system support will enable us to improve our service to you. It's important that we keep all staff informed of what's happening in business services. Kim Watson explains the importance of marketing within the Genesis project.
My role in the Genesis project is to ensure that all staff are informed as to what's happening in the team and how it will affect them. We'll be using a number of different types of media to impart the message, but overall my aim is to make sure there are no surprises for anyone in relation to Genesis between now and January next year.
The document of understanding will inform staff about what the Genesis team will be doing throughout the project and what we need staff to do to work with us to make the project a success. It will be delivered to you before your new computer equipment arrives. We want to encourage feedback from all staff. We want to know your concerns and interests in relation to Genesis. We've already had a number of questions raised. What are the benefits to branches of a single database?
They won't have to sign off one machine and onto another machine to inquire on policies of different geographical regions.
Will branches in other time zones retain their current level of system availability once the databases are amalgamated?
yes, they will continue to enjoy their existing level of policy availability.
What will we be printing our schedules on?
Our schedules will print on the existing Epson printers until January 1995, and then they'll be printing on laser printers.
If you have any questions for the Genesis team, please send them to Genesis System to an IBM environment, modernising our network, utilising PCs, laser printers and new office services software. We're placing business services in an excellent position to respond to the needs of the business in a timely and cost-effective manner and support operations into the 21st century. The Genesis project is just the beginning. Our first update video will be sent to you late September.